this video, I'm going to be covering the 5 steps we use in the A-team to go from feeling overwhelmed to in control. So first, let's just talk about being overwhelmed. If you're feeling overwhelmed, it's not because you're incapable. It's usually because there's some sort of misalignment, right? You're overwhelmed with how much is going on, and you're literally, it's hard to actually process what's going on and make decisions when you're feeling overwhelmed. And so in order to feel in control, there's several steps you need to do to sort of assess where you're at and make these adjustments. So to start with a visual, right? This is 4 priorities: your personal, family, friends, jobs. And if you don't have even just those 4 things sort of in order, it can feel overwhelming. Like, what does this even look like? It looks like a mess. Maybe it's what your mind feels like sometimes. So the first step towards feeling less overwhelmed is alignment. Here's those same 4 priorities, just organized differently. If you're saying my personal priority is number 1, then family, then friends, then my job. I'm not really, I'm just trying to, my job, I'm just going to compartmentalize it. It's just going to be a part of my life, but I really got to focus on me, my family, my friends. Boom. Get yourself that clarity as a step 1. The same amount of work you're spending just festering, taking up that space, can be allocated towards taking a step back and deciding, what is this sort of alignment? And so that's why alignment matters. What is your current status, right? That's why I say currently, right? What currently fits in your life, right? That's the question. What actually matters right now? What are the top few priorities right now, like this quarter, that matter to you? And what are you constantly deprioritizing that you want to be more important, right? Everything can't be a priority. So that means you have to choose, what are you going to stop focusing on? Just for now. It doesn't have to be forever, right? Alignment forces this decision. Who are you going to be this season, right? So with this example, maybe you just got a new job. And so the main priority is the job, right? The job is the thing you want to be focused on. And then to make sure you do well at your job, health is next. So you're basically going to your job, and then otherwise you're going to the gym or you're eating well, and then family takes a back seat, friend taking a very back seat for this season. We just got to hustle, and that's where we're grinding, right? So in this image, right, it's still hectic. We just got a new job. It's taking up more space. But as long as you mentally allocate, this is what I'm doing, the focus is there, and it makes it actually easier, right? Clarity reduces that emotional noise because you're not negotiating with yourself anymore. You're just saying, this is my hierarchy of how I'm going to prioritize my time. So the next thing you need to focus on is capacity. How are you building the engine that's sort of moving you forward, right? You can't feel in control if you're not taking care of your body and mind. If you haven't heard of Maslow's, right, this is sort of the steps of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So to reach self-actualization, you need self-esteem, love and belonging, safety and security. But the foundation of it is physiological needs: breathing, food, water, shelter, clothing, sleep, these basic things, right? So that's the foundation. And what is happening when you're overwhelmed? Most of us are operating on low sleep, constant stimulation with our phone, no time to reflect and sort of zoom out, no space to think about what we're actually trying to do, right? And so as the saying goes, you can't pour from an empty cup. You need to put your mask on first in order to serve those around us. The 2 key components that are impacting your stress: 1, physical capacity. If your baseline energy is low, everything feels urgent and heavy. And 2, mental capacity. When your system is overloaded, even small tasks feel catastrophic. The idea of going to the gym, cooking yourself a meal, getting back to a friend, all seem too insane, right? So we got to build that mental and physical capacity to increase your ability to feel in control. The third thing is leverage. You got to plug the leaks. You got to be aware of your energy. Where are you putting your time? Where are you putting your money? Where are you putting your energy? And more importantly, what's draining it, right? Here's a list of things that drain energy: holding on to anger, negative people, living in the past, worrying about things, right? All of these things are draining your energy, draining your battery. And so what this turns into, right? Now you're experiencing avoiding conversations, negative self-talks, undefined goals, doing tasks at an underpaid rate, retail therapy, spending money that you shouldn't have, delaying decisions that are important to you. So you have to figure out, where is my energy going, and then where can I patch it? Where can I sort of stop spending time and energy in these things that are not serving me? When you stabilize that energy, now all of a sudden momentum starts to feel more achievable. So now that you have momentum, the first thing you need to accept is that you're not alone. You don't need to navigate life alone. We are not meant, the idea of self, it's in and of itself is a human constructed thing. We are all connected, and everyone, there's no such thing as a self-made billionaire, a self-made anything. Everyone has worked together. So start sharing with the world what you're trying to work towards. If you have friends, if you have community on Instagram, wherever, start saying, this is what I'm working on. This is what I'm trying to do. The question you should be asking is not how you're going to be doing this, but rather who can help. That is who helps you get to where you're going. The question is not how. The question is who. If you get caught up in how, you get caught in what's called the tyranny of how, right? You start thinking, oh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Oh, it's not the right time. If you start thinking who, now you're thinking action-oriented. Who do I want to reach out to? And while it may seem scary to share your goals and aspirations with people, you'd be surprised how much lighter you feel when someone else knows what you're working on and someone else is checking on you. And also, you just get practice saying what it is that you want to do, what it is that you're working on, saying it to people, even if they can't help you. Just saying it out loud is sort of this form of manifesting. High achievers often try to like white knuckle progress and do it themselves. It's self-help. But again, self-help is sort of a scam. We have to work together. Help inherently means someone else is helping. So the other thing that I like to say is that asking for help is really a gift. If you're going to someone saying, hey, you specifically are someone that I could really use some help with, it's generally received well. Think of if someone really asks you for help, not just bumming a buck or asking for a favor, but is saying, hey, I want you to help me with X task. Usually you'll feel pretty good, right? So similarly, if you need help and you're thinking carefully about who you want to help you, reach out. They'll likely see it as an opportunity to serve, and it's a gift to ask for help. So then the last piece is integration, right? Seasons come and go. Seasons can be long, a new job, whatever it may be. But the overwhelm will come and go as well. So the goal here isn't to eliminate overwhelm forever. That's impossible. The goal is to be able to recognize these patterns and then build tools and understand how to react when you start feeling overwhelmed, so that no matter what season you're in life, no matter what's going on, you can still take control and maintain this cycle, right? So we got alignment, capacity, leverage, force multipliers, the people, right? Feeling in line, getting our capacity back, owning our energy, working with other people. This is the system. And then you have to integrate this and build rhythm. And then when you have these things, you get this rhythm. And control isn't about dominance. It's about alignment. It's about sort of riding the waves of where you're at. And so when things are thrown at you, you can return and get your balance faster. And ultimately, that is what success is, right? Success comes from peace of mind, knowing that you're doing your best. And so if you feel overwhelmed, of course you don't feel like you're doing your best. So you need to be able to sort of take a step back, address these issues, and then be able to move forward. And so these are the exact things we cover on the A-Team. It's a 10-week program, 30 minutes a week, and we cover these in sequential order. And this is exactly what I work with on with people, because I just care I'm so passionate about helping navigate the realities of life, which can be very overwhelming. But there are tools, there are support systems, and I would love to be a resource if I can be. Feel free to reach out if any of this resonates and you would like to learn more.